So, Fat Man.
On people's faces. I guess I was unmuted there. Oh, hey, boss. I heard that you liked shit on people's faces and Eiffel Tower people during the Royal Rumble match.
High five to that. Let's talk about that. Some other random things like the Royal Rumble. All coming to you.
Oh, you got some striations there, boss. I like them. I like them when you go, ugh, like Pikachu.
We'll talk about that on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is a Fat Man. I told you this for 9 months anyway, so might as well do it more.
Do you feel better about yourself?
I always feel better about myself because my name's not Sleazy.
Wow, what an asshole. Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode of The Wrestling Show. First and foremost, we have the proud papa literally watching his kid as we speak. Ryan Williams is here with us today.
Hey, yo!
And, of course, wait a second.
That's not Deets.
Jesus, Deets, you got dark.
Wow.
Wow.
And old.
Holy shit. It's the Bullseye Master himself. Heavy G is with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member, permanent member of the Wrestling Show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here and ready to talk wrestling with you, gentlemen. Cannot wait.
Oh, this is going to be a fun night, I'll tell you. We're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. We also have to talk about the fucking news that's happened.
We have to talk about it.
Yeah,
We
we have
absolutely-
to.
we
We 100% have to talk about CM Punk and his fighting with children.
You're going to go CM Punk. I was going to go Jordan Grace. But it was all the same. The bit was the same. The answer was just different. I pass it along to Fat Man for the Royal Rumble.
As I hear little kids in the background. And anyone who watched the pre-show?
Yes. No.
No.
Yes?
Yes, how else would I watch the numbers on the Rumble video again and again?
YouTube.
It's on YouTube, fucker.
You didn't think I watched it a bunch of times on YouTube too?
Okay, fair.
Okay, there were 0 matches on the pre-show. Show opened with the Women's Royal Rumble match. The match went 65 minutes. I'm not going to tell you who all of them were in there. John Canton gave this 4 stars. Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast. Oh, and by the way, because Sleazy says I like to torture myself, the first thing I did when I woke up was I kicked Sleazy out of the house. And
Right.
then I went back and rewatched this pay-per-view.
So, as always, the difference between him and I always...
I do research and Sleazy doesn't. I watch
Basically,
the
yeah.
product and Sleazy kind of bitches about it in the living room, being like, that sucked. And then I'd be like, well...
First and foremost, you couldn't say anything more because you're so fucked up out of your mind.
Wrong.
Yes.
Not by the time the Rumble started.
Oh, you were pretty host. Pretty fucking host. He was host. Goldschlager and whatnot.
It was between 4 and 7. By 8,
He was fucked.
doing okay.
So let's start with the obvious things. We had 4 real surprises, okay?
Did we?
get the fuck out of here.
Goodbye.
We did. Number 1, Naomi is back, even though that was pretty obvious she was coming back. Number 2, we had I would say the biggest surprise of them all, which was Jordan Grace.
100% was a surprise.
Then we had Liv Morgan coming back.
Not a surprise.
Which is
a surprise return from injury. Yes, it's a surprise.
I had the same conversation with Fat Man, and once again, shocker, he's got to poo-poo it. And then the fourth surprise is Jade Cargill, and yes, I am talking over Fat Man because I know he's just going to still poo-poo it. There were other NXT call-ups, but those are the 4 really big things that happened. Here's the reality of this. I loved this. I thought it was great, but there were a lot of places where things were sloppy. And there's no...
hold on to this has nothing to do with the match. Deet just texted the chat. I had to bash him. It's like, sorry, I'm not on, boys. I think I fucked my knee up. Didn't realize you need a knee to talk. But okay.
Well done, Deets. Well done. That's a knee.
I had no voice and was on, so
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
I went through divorce and other shit, and I came on.
Right?
Literally, the day I had elbow surgery, that night I was on.
Oh, maybe if he hurt his knee, he's on it, and maybe he can't.
And I was drooling over myself, but at least I was on it.
Maybe he can't.
Can we just get back to the fact here for a second? This is probably the best women's rumble there's ever been.
Yes.
I agree.
100% agree. Despite all the fucking botches.
Exactly. Because I know there was a lot of little miscommunications and weird shit that it was just like, okay. But like even with that alone, the story of this from different sections of everything was planned out perfectly.
You want to love? You want to
love? This is better than the men's rumble.
You want to loved? The Chelsea green spots.
You know
Chelsea's
what I
green spots were great.
R-Truth coming out 24 twice.
Yes, R-Truth is a national fucking treasure.
Yeah,
NWA champion.
There you go. Thank you. It took
too
long to say that.
It was a 7-time NWA champion set between Adam Pearce standing right in front of R-Truth. 7 times between the two of them.
He comes out, we're watching it. She comes out, fucking Sarah Logan. And then Truth's music hit. And I'm sad that was his number solely on one of the boys next to me went before we saw Truth. You think his number is 19 because he had to ask to get quarantined before the match, and that's why he asked about being quarantined? I was like, that's brilliant. Didn't think nothing of it. 19 came and went in the women's game. Didn't think nothing of it. And then he comes out at 24 and his music hits. He runs the ring and everybody went, that's his number in the men's rumble, isn't it? That's fucking great. Like,
well, I said, we, as a lot of people know, we do our own pool. And I said to Fat Man, well, you might as well just pencil his number in for 24 for the men's one now.
And then me being an asshole goes, you don't know that.
Shocker. Fat Man an asshole. No,
I would have laughed if he came out at 23. Just
like fucking missed.
He didn't know his number in the men's rumble either.
That actually would have been even funnier.
Yeah.
Kabuki Warriors getting eliminated was big sad for me, but obviously
very well done though on trying to do the Spider-Man thing.
Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. And more importantly, they both got out before the Asian wrecker, Nia Jax, got in there. Because what was the very first thing that Nia Jax did?
Threw out an Asian.
Went after an Asian and tried to punch her.
Nia, give her credit, ties the record for most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble with 8.
8, yes.
8 Rumble eliminations. The only other thing I want to really touch on was the finish to the match. Obviously, Final 3, they wanted to do some cool little spot at the end. The problem is that it felt a little samey from last year, even with the last one being eliminated being Liv Morgan. But other than that, I thought it was an interesting way to finish it. I gave this, I can't believe I agree with Canton. I guess it's better than agreeing with fuck Dave Meltzer, but I gave it 4 stars as well.
As Sleazy literally told me, he gave it 3 stars right after the match happened.
Spoiler.
Did you rewatch this show, Sleazy?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god!
Yes.
That shocks me. I also gave it 4 stars.
It does, though, because normally you're one or the other. Like, you're
Yeah.
not both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also gave it 4 stars. Love the Chelsea Green spots. Car Girl looked like a boss. The Green, Piper Niven, Nia Jax spots were all funny. Right Kid died. So
Absolutely. But again, this is the one that we weren't. Punk Rhodes being final 2 in the men's, spoiler, blah, 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 kind of was given. This is the one that there could have been more winners, but it should have been Bayley regardless of.
Yes. One of the interesting things that came out on commentary was the fact that they made it clear that the 2 Rumble winners would headline each night of WrestleMania, which I thought was very interesting to kind of tip that hand right now.
I don't think. Well, maybe with recent developments, but yeah.
But those developments hadn't happened yet when they said it. That's
Yeah, they'd already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Punk wasn't fucked yet.
No.
like he hadn't even wrestled yet.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless they obviously knew he was going to get injured in the match,
Right?
which is very possible.
He's like, yeah, the last 4 matches he wrestled, he's got hurt. Huh?
Right. Better.
On TV, because he wrestled Tom Nick twice and didn't.
That's true.
All right, Heavy G, what do you think of the match?
I absolutely love that. I gave it 4 stars as well. I love Jordan Grace's appearance. I wish she would have been in the match longer, though. To me, I mean, personally, I think she's amazing. I love the face-off between Jade and Bianca. I mean that's your future title picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about Nia being Nia, 8 eliminations. Things I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like the way Becky got knocked out of the match. It was kind of like, I mean, it was
Anticlimactic.
it was a different elimination. I mean, it was different. But the thing is, Sarah Logan, you made her look this dominant, and then she lasted for 5 seconds, or not Valhalla or whatever they want to call it. Also loved Liv Morgan coming out as 30. Definitely, I like when the 30s and you don't know who 30 is. I mean, to me, that was just, you're like, okay, who is it? Who is it? And it was just having 30 in the men's was just such a letdown. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But I said 4 stars. I loved it. Like I said, kind of a couple of things were quirky, but all in all, 4 stars.
I mean, we'll touch on number 30 entrance later.
Since I can't say it because there were none, but yo, dog, I heard you like multi-man matches. Cool. Fatal 4-way.
The funny part is
I'm not as excited. Like,
the best part is that he fucked the other bit. Yo, dog, I heard you like, or not yo, dog. Because fuck you.
We all knew this wasn't going to end, so I don't care about that. Fatal 4-way match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Roman Reigns.
Universal.
Did you just say Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns. Yes.
Roman
Reigns. Versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you. 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Canton gave this 3 1/4. I'm going to start with Heavy G on this one.
I gave it 4 1/4.
Wow.
I liked. I mean, the first thing that I liked was the accidental breakup earlier in the match when AJ Styles just happened to stumble and fall on LA Knight's pin attempt. The finish with the almost getting in the finish with the 3 RKOs. I love that spot. Just like the little things, or the way Roman tried to fight out of the Styles clash, and how we just did right there. And then at the end, that spot that AJ took off the top rope looked like he killed himself. The entrances were just way too long for me. It was like watching like Holy shit. My question is, if it's a fatal 4-way, no DQ. Why is Solo coming out in the hood?
That's what he does.
I don't care. It's a no DQ. You don't have to do that. I don't understand it. Just come out. You're gonna come out. Come out.
Do you want to know why it does it?
Why?
Because no DQ gives a crowd reaction, people looking for it. You hear the crowd pop right away compared to there's a sustained pop versus a quick pop. And they just want the quick pop to, oh, fuck, what happened? Compared to, hey, look, there's Solo walking down this long fucking ramp. Wonder what he's going to do. Oh, they're going into the finish sequence. Randy Orton did 3 RKOs. Well, Solo better start fucking moving faster.
Yeah, it was a good match. I think. I mean, it told a great story, and it was. I thought it was a really good match. Like I said, 4.25 stars. I think. So yeah.
I'm going to Sleazy next because I know you want to talk about one specific spot that I love to use the term, and Ryan hates me for using it, but Sleazy's going to use it for me.
It was dumb.
What was dumb?
How do you pin somebody?
With their shoulders to the mat.
Yes. Using another wrestler's body, correct?
Correct.
So when two people are when one is laying on the other person,
Fuck you, commentary covered that.
Nope.
don't give a shit.
Stupid.
That's not the
stupid.
part. So when I went back and watched this and they covered it, I went, awesome. Perfect. They explained it. And then they fucked it up.
Go ahead.
Because when they had Roman dragged up there for one, Roman's shoulders were a foot off the fucking mat.
One shoulder was a foot off the mat.
Doesn't matter.
But
One
I'm
shoulder was off the foot of the mat.
One of his
So
shoulders.
why are you counting? So why are you counting the pin when one of his shoulders was on the mat, but not when Knight was on top of Orton?
Because
There
the ref
have
only
been-
see the one shoulder on the mat and assumed the other shoulder was on the mat.
The ref was literally looking right at it.
Yes.
No excuses in that point. It was dumb.
It was absolutely done. There have been matches where that was the exact finish in WWE. Where somebody gets, oh, I don't know, super kicked onto somebody else and pins and wins. Exactly the same spot, except the ref literally looking at it while he's looking at Solo come around. It's bullshit. It was the ultimate example of how much I just said, whatever, at this point. I think they gave no effort to the match because they really didn't have to, because obviously the Rumble matches were the main focal points of the show. They needed to have Roman have a match because he hasn't had a match in 3 fucking years, it seems like. Between that and the fact that the promo the next night with Cody and Seth shows exactly why that match meant nothing to nobody. I give it, I in my notes outside of the pin spot, I just have one word: low. Just low. No one cared. 2 stars.
Well, you're an underrated piece of shit. I think I was the only one on the show that said Reigns was pinning Styles. Everyone else was being fucking marks and said, blah, 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 Orton's gonna win.
Oh no! Don't you dare throw me in that bucket.
I am.
How dare you?
Let's do what I want. Besides the dumb spot, I thought it was a really good match. 3.5 stars. Not the best match. The reason they did the Cody Seth one, they do it every freaking year. Is all like, hey, we all know obvious booking's obvious. Cody's going to go for Roman, but they got to plant that little seed of doubt, especially with the Punk thing out. But there is no way Jay Briscoe's winning the ROH World title. There's no way it's going to be Cody versus Seth at Mania.
I'm not saying it is, but the fact that they've made it a plot point in this particular situation says a lot.
I think they did it just to do it. Just to put... I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying they did it just to be like, oh, hey, now we're putting doubt. It might be Seth. Who cares?
No,
y'all know it's going to be Roman. Like,
that's fine.
I know they got 3 months of build to go, but...
Totally understand that. That's not my point of it. Is the fact that it's coming up in kayfabe says a lot. That's my kind of point. Is that they're giving talking points credence that shouldn't be given credence in that situation, I guess. And that's and maybe that's just me being a fucking
What would be wrong with that, though? I don't see a problem with that.
It's not the fact. The problem with it is the fact that you are disparaging another world championship, and you're doing that to your own product. It's a very meta thing to do. You know what I mean? It's like saying, yeah, this world heavyweight title, it's nothing. It's trinket. What I really want is that title. Even though it's a world heavyweight championship of the promotion you're working for.
I think you're taking the pessimistic route and not the optimistic route here. I think Seth was trying to put over the world title as being, hey, Roman hasn't been on the show.
Right.
You don't want to go after that title. You want to go after me because you're a workhorse and I'm a workhorse.
Right.
I think where they're...
Is that how it came across to you? Came across to me like Seth Rollins is a whiny bitch.
What
Also
I
true.
think is going to happen is Seth actually gave Cody points to go after the WWE title. Yes, because if Seth is there every month and Rollins isn't, Cody wants to finish his story, but also make that title better for being there every week.
That doesn't finish the story.
It does
The
finish
story's
the
the
story.
WWE title.
That's what I'm
Not
saying,
the
though.
world.
No, I'm saying it gives Cody.
Yeah.
It gives Cody reasons to go and more reasons to go after the WWE title.
So he could be the workhorse of the other promotion, of the other brand.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I guess my point is that they shouldn't have taken the route of disparaging Roman's title reign over it.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
three and
yeah,
a half
but
year
then
title
again-
reign, but how are you disparaging it?
Yeah.
You're like, I understand where you're coming from, but the dude's been champion for
1,200 days.
it's
You can say whatever you want. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Still 1,200 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Honky Talk Man had the title for a year too. I mean, until
And
Gunther
everybody
came
talked
along.
about
And we still talked about it,
forever.
though. That's the thing. You know, we always said when someone had it for 100 days, oh, Honky Tonk had it for a year. The reign that he has will always be talked about. I mean, you're putting him in, when you're saying about Roman Reigns, you're putting him in the conversation of Bruno Sammartino.
in
And
this
legends that
day
have
and
held
age.
that in this day and age, like he said, when titles seem to be changing every other week, it seems like.
I disagree with that one point because we have 3 titles that have been on people for more than 9 months.
But
Well, I mean, it used to be that way. I mean, like for 46 days, 110 days, whatever. But for over that span, I mean, 9 months and 3 years are totally different things.
When's the last time Roman Reigns has had a clean win?
When's the last time Roman Reigns had a what?
clean,
Clean
win. And here's the thing: I'm going to point to Ryan, and he's going to say 3 words.
Does not matter.
Thank you.
When's a win?
He's a heel. He's a heel.
So is Gunther, and he hasn't been.
2 different champions, 2 different personalities.
And one title reign that I respect more than the other.
There's 4 championships. Well, no, Seth Rollins is almost at 9 months.
He's almost there. He's not quite there, but
So
he's
Seth
very
Rollins
close.
would make 5 championships.
Who's left?
Roman Reigns has 2 fucking titles.
Oh yeah.
You can
well,
downplay it all you want, but he has 2 world championships. Every day he's champion, he gets 2 days added to his world title numbers.
Here's my opinion, and it might be unpopular, That's why everybody said they're probably going to fight on this.
It's okay.
To me, the WWE Universal Championship is as meaningless right now as the United States title.
You're wrong, but okay.
No, because the U.S. title was defended once in 3 months, and you only see Roman for a
Were you
promo.
saying that about Brock Lesnar years ago when he only showed up once every 3 months?
Yes.
Yes.
I know you were, Sleazy.
667 days claims that Universal title is not an afterthought because that's how long it's been combined with the WWE title.
But I said that when Roman Reigns when Brock was doing that, I hated it.
It's not meaningless because look at the merchandise sales, look at the crowds, look at the...
Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Who was the top merchandise seller this month?
I was.
Former NWA champion.
Thank
2
you.
times.
I was.
JD McDonough was part of Judgment Day and still hasn't got a Judgment Day shirt. And
Yes.
R-Truth topped sales with his own.
Number
Give
1
that
and number
man a world
2.
title. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Number 1 and number 2 is R-Truth and CM Punk. So,
Give that man a world title.
yes.
Bring back 24/7 title. Let him find him in the
100%. You and me, definitely on the same wavelength.
Oh,
That
man.
motherfucker needs every single title we can give him. Give him
I'm
a run with a women's tag team championship. I don't give a shit.
He's gonna win the tag titles with the Miz at WrestleMania. So,
Probably will, actually.
talking about R-Truth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about R-Truth and drag.
Right? See?
Hey,
You get Bugs Bunny. It's
It would be
clearly
like-
Bugs Bunny and drag, but you're distracted.
Okay, speaking of U.S. title, United
Hey,
States Championship.
have
Back
him have
on
a
track.
have him have a love interest and it be like EY and ODB.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be a hell of a frickin' thing.
Sorry to interrupt the actual talk about the Royal Rumble, Fat Man, but if he was still with Carmella, that would have been the perfect time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, you were talking about Sleazy's favorite person not allowed in Asia?
United States Championship. Not Asia, Japan. I know they're.
I'm racist, remember?
Yep. Logan Paul
I
defends
don't
against
know
Kevin
my
Owens.
geography.
The hell have I gotten into here? Holy
The
If it
Nia
ain't-
Jax of the wrestling show.
If
Go
it
ahead.
if it ain't Canada, Ryan don't know where it is, and even then he has a hard time.
what
And
does he
watch
They
that
haven't
Igloo.
updated the maps in Canada.
It's
What,
hard
Ryan
to get
scream
good
my
Wi-Fi
hole
to
too?
Igloo Boys. I don't know what to tell you.
the Nia Jax, does he scream my hole too?
Yes!
Oh, okay. Well, then,
One
alright.
time, and I'm
Oh.
not allowed to put that video on OnlyFans.
Yet! That's for our premium members.
Woohoo.
Ryan, sorry I didn't use loop. 14 minutes. Meltzer gave this. Not Meltzer. I'm sorry. Fuck Dave Meltzer, by the way. John Canton gave this 3 1/4.
First of all, well done on the sign.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we're 3 matches into these ratings, and there's not been a match less than 3 1/4.
Oh, you
Sleazy
didn't
gave
hear-
it 2 stars, the
Yeah.
Universal title match, because
Yeah.
he's a jaded fucking mark.
Because it's more. Why do you ruin good things?
I watch shitty things on TV.
Well, you didn't watch that because that was a good thing.
Wait a minute.
And
wait a
other
minute.
guys don't like star ratings, and I think
Sleazy says he watches
piece of
shitty
shit.
things on TV. He's still watching TV shows from the 80s.
Yes.
What's wrong
He's
with that?
he's like Ryan. They haven't hit the 90s yet where he lives.
There's nothing
Dude.
wrong with that.
I heard there's a pay-per-view next week where Hulk Hogan fights the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, me neither. I hear it's going to be big.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're going to explode or something.
There's a swerve coming. I feel a swerve coming.
You feel it? Yeah.
Hey, just
I do
make sure
feel it.
you don't order the second match. Just get the first one.
Actually, that second match came up on a list I watched today of all the negative 5-star matches Dave Meltzer has given out.
There's only a few, but
There's only like 4 or 5. Like
Yeah.
the
Who
video
was
wasn't
the
live,
second
but the
match?
matches were cream of the crap.
What was that,
Alright.
Heavy G?
Who was the second match in that?
Hogan won. He got to get his win back. Halloween Havoc, 98.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Hogan must pose.
Oh, that's bad.
Logan
Pull a Bruce
Morrison-
Pritchard. Yeah.
Logan must pose. Ryan, talk about it.
brilliant fucking finish. When they first got blocked up in Buddy handing over to Knox, I was like, fuck. How are they going to get out of this? Because there was no way Logan Paul was not losing the belt to Mania. So I'm watching it, we're getting into it, and then I see the other two fucking idiots come out, and I was like, okay, this just got better. And then Logan goes to fuck around, and Owens grabs the Knox. As soon as he grabs Knox, he's losing. No, what you think? Yeah, he's not going to take it. It's something stupid, but he's going to Dusty finish it, and then he do it, and it's 1, 2. Hey, what's that on your... Match was perfect for what it needed to be. It was brilliant little story and continued everything. I just don't know who's going to beat Logan Paul for the U.S. title. I don't know if it's going to be Owens, if they're going to give it the LA Knight, but this might be our obligatory ladder match at Mania.
Could be.
Yeah,
I liked it too. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a good match. You loved the finish. Apparently, Owens been working with a broken foot, so he seemed a little off. That was why.
So let's put a cast on his hand because he has a broken foot.
Exactly.
He punched him in the face with his foot.
Yeah, he Mike Adam lead it. I know there's a Jeff Harvey somewhere around here. But love the finish. Owens selling it was great. Sets up a rematch. Owens saved face while Paul retains the title. I liked it. Sleazy.
Not only did, Owens save face and Paul keeps the title, but it was done in a way that made sense for both characters. You know what I mean? There's this sense of justice that Owens has. If you're going to fucking do that to me, I'm going to do it right back to you, type of thing. And that's always been his character. So to have him lose the match because of that is just brilliant. Yeah. I cannot say enough good things about this match, despite the fact it features fucking Logan Paul. And it's gotten to the point where I can't just, the guy's a fucking great asset in the ring. And I can't.
Hey, if I don't absolutely hate Rush all the time, you can not hate Logan Paul all the time.
And I'm absolutely giving him his props.
But you hate Rush all the time.
No, you gave me a choice a couple of weeks ago and I chose Rush, and you're all surprised. So, at least one instance I didn't absolutely hate that fucking idiot.
That
one
is
time.
True. And
one time.
I will give everyone...
Because I gave you a worse option.
Yeah, so? I don't know what the problem is there.
I will give him his props, and I will give him his 4 stars.
Mark. IBG.
I agree. I didn't like the finish at first with him almost getting DQ'd. I'm thinking he's a heel. He would know to hide the nuts, but the emotion, like you said, about him losing like that before, and just the emotion that he finally got that shot, and he just slipped his mind to hide the nuts, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I was like you about Logan Paul, but the whole match was, I think, good. I mean, working the injury to the hand. I think Logan Paul's reaction to him kicking out of the punch was amazing. Just like I said, I like the little things like that. Him scouting the sentons both times, like the senton off the top and that running senton, getting the knees up. I really liked the match, and like you said, I like if he's at Mania, if it's a ladder match. Man, I'd love to see maybe a fatal 4-way for that.
I would like to see Ricochet back in that conversation.
I was going to say him, Ricochet,
Sammy.
What about Sammy, Ricochet, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul? Because in ROH, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had one hell of a ladder match.
Mm-hmm. Ladder war.
And then you have that, obviously the athleticism of both Logan Paul and Ricochet. I think you can have an amazing match like that at WrestleMania.
I would agree.
I gave it 3 3/4. I mean, I thought it was really good.
Oh, so this morning waking up, I saw a post from this stupid fucking Facebook group. They're all like, not us, but a stupid Facebook group.
Probably us.
Probably
Uh,
us.
and they were all like, the problem with Logan Paul is he doesn't sell. And I'm like, okay.
I saw that post.
Yeah, this is a site that sucks coke off Tony Khan's dick.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Thank you.
No,
That's expensive. I got a video of that.
But, and you're talking about how a guy who's less than 2 years in the business, who sells 99% more and draws 99% more than anyone in AEW, and yet you're bitching and complaining about him not selling.
Wait, is Punk still in AEW?
I don't think.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Hey, Men's Royal Rumble match. 68 minutes at 25 seconds. Can't give this 4 1/4. Ryan.
It wasn't Meltzer?
Canton. 4 1/4.
Canton.
Thank you. There's the sign. I absolutely liked the Rumble match. It wasn't as good as the women's. I just thought the story was more in the women's. I personally was more invested in the men's because we had our normal Rumble pool that we have every year. And I drew 11 and 15 and didn't think anything of it. And then Cody came out at 15 and I went, well, I just got interested in the Rumble again and watched it. And then him and Punk have this great little fucking finish on the end. The final 4 was fantastic. Shout out to Gunther and Drew for getting there and looking like that was the first final 4 in a long time, I feel, that any one of the 4 of them could have won it and nobody would have complained.
Yep.
Right? I never thought they were going to pull the trigger on Cody going back to back, which is fucking cool.
I didn't either.
Don't hate it. Love Cody as the winner and liked it more as the whole night progressed. Of Cody actually went out early this time and Cody was doing the work this time instead of coming out at 30.
Right. I gave it 3 3/4. It was just okay till the final 4, and then it got really picked up. If you notice, there was a tidbit of storytelling too between Punk and Cody, where Punk occasionally would look at the WrestleMania sign. Cody never did that once during that sequence with Punk, not once. Which means Punk was a little bit more desperate to get that win. Cody's already been there, which we all knew, but it was just a little bit of storytelling I absolutely loved. I did notice that when Drew hit that future shock, and I went, Punk went like this, and I'm all like, did he hurt his elbow again? I'm like, he's probably fine. And then it comes up the next day, torse tricep. I'm like, what a fucking mark. He's a mark for tearing triceps.
Drew McIntyre being the fucking cudgel for everyone. He knocked out Cody's tooth supposedly as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I can't, like I said, 3 3/4, okay until the end, and then it kind of boosted up the star rating there. I'll save the worst for last, so Heavy G, go.
I gave it 4 stars. I mean, at
No
the
reaction.
end, the chop contest with Hunter and with Gunther and McIntyre chopping CM Punk and Cody Rhodes there at the end was fantastic. Braun Breaker coming in and Carmelo Hayes from NXT, but Braun Breaker coming in having 4 eliminations. I think he eliminated Omos, I believe. Was pretty cool. I was disappointed that I didn't get to see any Kofi magic. You just didn't have how much more could he have done with getting to step on pancakes or anything else like that?
Yeah, no Kofi Hope spot.
Yeah, that was kind of that. Can we talk about Bronson Reed's elimination?
Oh my God, how terrible was that?
Was that horrible?
He was so far away from the ropes, and he's like, "Oh crap! Let me just." He just got kicked, and he's like, Uh-oh, then he just...
Wait.
Then he puts one of his own legs over the rope so Omos
Yeah.
can do it again.
That was horrific. I didn't like the Pat McAfee thing.
I think I told Sleazy, it was funny. It took away a spot.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
I
is-
agree
in
there.
some-
It was funny. It was hilarious. But like you said,
Was it though? I'm a huge fan of comedy wrestling. Everyone knows that.
Mhm.
I wasn't. It was fine. It wasn't a great comedy spot.
who would you have
But-
loved to see in that spot? Just say Pat McAfee.
I know 100% what he's going to say. Some fucking Asian in New Japan. He's going to say, "Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. It was 100% should have been Zack Sabre Jr.
legit." Yeah, because
But
he's the Asian in New Japan.
Yeah.
So, legit.
Yes, he is.
like,
He's Australian.
when he came...
Good. Keep it in the WWE roster.
I'm going to fucking slap you. But legit, when I'm going to steal Sleazy Thunder here, when it came down to Cody and Punk, Sleazy left.
I was done.
He didn't care.
I don't care.
Because there was no Asians in it, and if there was, they would have lost because Asians always lose. But go ahead. Finish.
Who would you have liked on the WWE roster?
Yeah, Gable.
Chad Gable deserved that spot. Johnny Gargano deserved that spot.
Tommaso
Ciampa. Literally anybody. Otis would have been great. Like
Yeah.
they did an entire montage for Otis to be trained to be in the Rumble, and then they didn't use him.
Yeah.
There was a whole Tozawa even. There were many comedy things that you could have done that didn't feature Pat McAfee, especially now that Pat's back full time. He didn't need to do that.
Until September when he goes back to College Game Day.
Yeah,
But-
true. But
Well,
Can
so
I-
I'll ask the question on that. Is that going to matter as much?
It should. If he's on Raw, it shouldn't.
Just, I mean,
SmackDown-
I get why SmackDown was going to function.
Yeah,
with
because
college
he was
football.
on Fridays and he had to be in the
Then-
city on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Raw, I don't think matters much, so he may be there full time. But
okay. See, I don't know. I don't know sports.
I have a weird thing. I said this Saturday night during the Rumble, and I said, wouldn't it be neat if they had Damian Priest win it?
so here's the thing: Sleazy was like, "Why is he in it?" I go, "Why wouldn't he be in it?"
Why wouldn't he be?
He's already got money in the bank. What you think about that?
If he
He's gonna buy us a drink.
if he won the Royal Rumble and he was in it, he's having that issue with Seth freaking Rollins. You could have had him having the match and having the Money in the Bank. You could have had Priest versus Rollins, 2 out of 3 falls.
No, this is how
Why?
I book it.
You could have it 2 out of
loses.
3.
No. He loses to. He wins the, if he's going to do it that way. Wins the Rumble, loses to Rollins, and then cashes his Money in Bank and wins it. Like immediately.
See, here's the thing. I wouldn't book it at all like that. I would book it so that Finn Balor wins the Royal Rumble, loses to Seth, and then Priest catches in. Because who's the better leader then? And then you can start splitting up the Judgment Day from there. Because that's eventually where you're going with this. Like,
Man, if you're going to go Mark booking, fuck that. He wins the Rumble. He wins Cody, or he beats Rollins night 1. He cashes in on Reigns night 2. He has 3 world titles. Why not just go for Gusto?
no. You can't do that.
Why can't you?
The contract states for a championship match, one championship match. He'd have to choose between the Universal Championship and the
Cash in
WWE
during.
Champion.
Cash in during the match.
For the Royal Rumble, he can do that with the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, but he'd have to choose between the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship. Because in Ryan's mind, there's still 2 titles.
They are still 2 titles.
Right, so he
But
can't
if the
cash
match
in
has
on
already
both.
started, he would cash in as both titles are being defended.
Then he can't cash in a third time for the World Championship.
But the Royal Rumble victory would be his world championship match.
Right,
Yeah.
but he can't cash in. You see what I'm saying, though?
No,
like,
Ryan's saying he wins Rumble,
Yes.
beats Rollins night one,
Yep. So
And
he's
then
got the World
uses-
Heavyweight Championship.
then uses the Money in the Bank contract for night 2.
Yeah, but you can't because he'd have to choose between the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship because they're two separate titles according to Ryan.
According to WWE, it's not according to Ryan.
I'm also according to Ryan.
But they're putting. But when he
didn't
defends the titles,
but-
he puts them both up. So
It's not because the actual contract was
Remind
for
me, did
one or the other.
Did WWE actually say that once Reigns loses, that it's just the WWE title now? They're not.
I don't know.
I don't remember
I would assume that
because it's merged technically with the WWE title.
yeah, because it's the WWE Universal.
So that
Championship.
they're calling it the WWE Universal Championship.
the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship.
But then when Reigns loses, it just becomes the WWE Championship again. They drop the Universal, right?
I assume they're going to, but I don't know if they're actually
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
if they've stated.
It doesn't matter. But Sleazy, would you? Oh, Heavy G, you done talking about the match as we?
Yeah, I'm
stick
done.
With? Okay, Sleazy.
Like 14 tangents later, right?
This is the rest of the show. That's what we do.
Right? I don't know, man. I thought that one of the things that I love about the Royal Rumble every year is that there's a bunch of surprises. How many surprises were in this? One. Uno. Because it was Andrade, so I spoke in Spanish.
Which I'm gonna be a dick about it. Kind of wasn't a surprise because
That was even less as a surprise than Naomi was. And that's saying something.
He legit canceled all his independent
Right.
bookings.
Literally week or two beforehand. So obviously it was going to be there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a boring Rumble to me. The one thing that always keeps me like in tune with it a little bit is the pool that we do. But even then, it's like
Because you
this
lost, so you gotta be a bitch.
What's my
Oh,
pride?
I'm sorry. 3 out of the last 5 people, in terms of the picks, were all in the ring for one person. So
Yeah, that was true.
there was
It
no
happened
way
to
anyone.
me. It happened to me last year. 3 out of the 4 were mine.
Yeah, but you didn't win, did you?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, one of them was Cody Rhodes. Yeah, somebody.
T-shirt for my gut having 3.
You ain't getting shit.
Bullshit.
If your gut can take a sticker, it can have it. Here's the thing, though. The reality is, this was a tale of 2 wrestlers, Punk and Rhodes. That's all there was to it. Everyone kind of knew that's where it was coming down to. The only other person that really, the 2 other people that had options were the Final 4. So there was no real drama until you got to that Final 4. And then once you got to the Final 2, who cares? I mean, obviously, at that point, we didn't realize that Punk was injured to the point where he wouldn't compete in WrestleMania. But we figured we already know.
You imagine he had to win.
Right?
I did
Right?
the same thing.
Like, holy
I said the
shit.
same. When I was watching Raw, I was like, man, imagine if he actually won the Rumble.
Let's
He
play.
wrestled-
Let's play devil's advocate. Maybe he was supposed to win the Rumble, and they pulled the last minute switcheroo.
Ooh, last minute conspiracy
Going
theories. I like it.
Because you do notice that
He did talk with
the ref.
Jessica.
yeah,
Yeah,
because when he could have said, "Hey, I'm hurt,"
yeah.
or he could have said, "Hey, I'm hurt. Let's switch this up." But
Oh, can we name this show Conspiracy Theorist? Because like
that's
that
sleazy all the time.
that is my MO. Come on,
That's
man.
how all the other dirt sheets get their
I like
fucking views.
Where's my yarn board over here?
I like the way you. I like the way you think, Sleaze. I think we're gonna like this here.
Trust me, this is not a road you want to go down.
Uh,
It's not because he's always wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Gunther, Gunther is 19 days away from holding the Intercontinental title more than anybody else combined as well.
What a goddamn champion. Love him.
Just to throw it out there, because I thought it was a cool stat that his one singular reign is going to be Pedro Morales. And Pedro Morales had 2 stupid reigns.
Right? Yeah. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't the final 4 was. I went back and watched it after the fact. It was okay. It was decent, little fun little thing.
What the
yeah,
fuck
I know.
are you?
Well, I watched the Women's Rumble back because I was kind of into it for a different reason.
Agents.
And then I watched this.
Just Google imaging it, which is easier.
Right?
Shout out Roman Reigns. He's appeared on every PLE in 2024 so far.
He has. Good job.
Well done.
It ends Saturday, but hey.
Well done. I watched the final 4 of this because, like I said, I walked off. I was already kind of tired at that point too.
It didn't end till like midnight.
Yeah, and
then we stayed up till 1 talking because we're
It's like 1:30 here in Newfoundland. Go to fuck midnight.
Well, yeah, but I'd been up since 6 a.m. because I still had to drive to Fat Man's at that point.
Okay.
I watched it and had a 2.5-hour drive home.
Yeah, I got lucky in that respect. I got to lay down afterwards. So.
in a bed this big.
Oh, yeah, with a dog and a wife.
And 2 CPAP machines.
Oof. 2 CPAP machines stacked on a luggage.
Okay, so let's talk about this before that baby goes real cry, and I gotta go for the rest of the podcast.
Okay.
So it's like shit.
Yo, dog,
right?
hang on. Yo, dog, I heard you like tag team matches.
I do. What a shitty segue.
Right?
Haha! A former employee, Janelle Grant, filed a lawsuit in Connecticut today against WWE Vince McMahon and, hey boss, accusing McMahon of sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, and sex trafficking, alleging that he trafficked her to other men, quote, as a pawn to secure talent deals in an attempt to recruit them as wrestlers to his company. The lawsuit also includes claims of civil battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress during multiple years of sexual and emotional abuse that Grant says she endured as a employee of WWE. The lawsuit also specifies that McMahon agreed to a $3 million settlement with Grant, but only paid $1 million of it. And so she is looking to void that agreement and is seeking unspecific monetary damages. According to the lawsuit, McMahon and Grant became friends first before McMahon created a position for her within WWE's legal team. Soon afterwards, he forced Grant into a sexual relationship, and along with laryngitis, the two of them engaged in sexual assault and trafficking on WWE property during work days and using WWE funding. The suit also alleged McMahon would shower Grant with gifts and empty work promotions while threatening her livelihood and her reputation as and her reputation if she didn't retribution if she didn't comply to his demands. The lawsuit also states that when McMahon's wife learned of the relationship, Grant was pressured to abruptly resigned from WWE and forced to sign an NDA under the assumption that McMahon would protect her financially and protect her retribution while dishing out the $3 million. However, McMahon paid Grant $1 million in February 2022 and they refused to make any further payments, claiming that she violated her NDA and seeking information and leaking information to the press. That is the short of it. There's also a massive 62-page document about how apparently McMahon forced her to have sex with Brock Lesnar, and he shit on her face during a threesome with laryngitis, and
then went and got a shower while they were still fucking, and come back out and fucked her covered in shit.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, because I'm going to keep laughing and cracking jokes. This is a serious thing. They're looking into this. There's the law and everything is taking care of this. So, like, regardless of opinions or whatever it is, there's people looking into this and finding out the truth of the matter. It's a serious matter to those parties involved. Me here in Newfoundland, hearing about Vince's shit threesome, is fucking dying laughing. Okay, like
I will say that from that perspective, I 100% agree with you. Some of the stuff that was brought out in the deposition was outright hilarious. If you look at it from the perspective of semi consent, there, let's be perfectly frank here. The reason why this lawsuit exists. Now, I'm not saying that it was bad or good or whatever, but the reason why this lawsuit exists was because Vince stopped paying. Not because she was having trouble with this from a fucked up standpoint. This is throwing receipts down because you stopped paying, you motherfucker.
but they stopped paying because she broke the NDA. This is where
This is where the he said, she said comes in play. And I want to point out as well, the things that were alleged in the lawsuit are outright crimes, felonies in many cases. So any NDA would be completely invalidated by that. So it doesn't really matter. So if she was not okay with this anymore, at any point, she was no longer okay with this, she could have gone to law enforcement and dealt with it. She chose not to do that and instead opted for a lawsuit. That doesn't mean that what was done was wrong. What was done was, not something she consented to, et cetera, et cetera. But that needs to be said here.
I had like a little theory about it too, where I read it and I'm all like, she's the only reason this came about is because he stopped paying. Like, so.
And she outright says that in the lawsuit.
So I'm like, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think what happened was she had an affair with McMahon. Maybe there was threesomes involved. Maybe she was with Lesnar. We don't know. We weren't there. Thank God.
You're right.
Maybe there was Eiffel Tower's head. Maybe there was shit on faces. Again, wasn't there. Thank God. But again, what I think, this is what I don't think happened, but it's a possibility, was that for some reason they got found out. He had to let her go. He's like, hey, I'll agree to pay you $3 million. You're set for life. He paid one and then said, I'm good. And then she got pissed that he didn't pay the other two. And then not saying that she made up some of the stuff, what happened, but I think maybe exaggeration, maybe. The truth is somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Like, these are very serious charges, and you got to take it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like Sleazy said, the only reason this came about is because he stopped paying. So
100%.
Again,
100%.
That doesn't mean that she wasn't scared or she didn't want to go to the police, which could have happened. That could have happened, but I don't know.
She didn't. She chose.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say she chose to sue. That was it.
Yep. And like I said, we might be joking about what happened, like you said, the Eiffel Tower, the whole thing else, and but it is not a funny situation. But if you said that you were going to pay her, and I don't know, I didn't hear anything about this. If he said he was going to pay her $3 million, I didn't hear anything about this, to her breaking the NDA. I mean, did you guys hear anything about this?
I don't know.
That was the response to the lawsuit.
Yes.
Was that he broke off payment because she violated the NDA and therefore
and leaked information.
Yeah, and leaked information about what had happened.
I'm not
Which,
sure. Which,
once again, as a legal person, she was on their payroll as a legal counsel. So I would assume there was some legal background she had. I actually don't know that for sure. But I'm making the assumption here.
So I read a little bit of this article. According to it, is he made up a position for her in the legal department, even though she had no legal background.
Okay. In that case, then that makes what I was going to say not matter then.
But that's what she said.
Well,
I'm not
if
sure if she did. Or she was like a consultant, so maybe she did have a legal background. But say what you're going to say if she had a legal background.
Well, if she had a legal background, she would know that the NDA wouldn't be applicable if she thought she was being violated in a way that was criminally illegal.
Right.
And obviously, tort law is different than criminal law, but lawyers talk. Everyone knows, who to talk to when, the tenant law is being broken versus a, traffic law or something of that nature. Everybody knows each other especially in Connecticut,
Like this happening during work hours at a workplace also shocks me. If it did happen, apparently in offices.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I'm not saying she's lying, but
It wouldn't shock me.
it wouldn't shock me. But it's all like somebody else had to know this.
Well, that's a big thing here. Who knew? Who else is a part of this? Who else had some internal information that were also signing NDAs and whatnot? You don't know. You don't think for a second Bruce Pritchard wouldn't know about this? This man was sucking on Vince's left fucking nut for 30 plus years. That man knew something was going on. I don't believe for a second he didn't know.
About Kevin Dunn being released. He might have known?
Kevin left. Kevin left on his own volition, which, that could have been it.
On Facebook said a lot she stated wasn't in office too. Yes, but that's true. But I don't. Yeah,
Here's the thing, though. Yeah, it might not have been in office. It doesn't matter
where it was; it's still illegal. But like,
yeah, and I'm trying to tiptoe the line here because there's a lot of things that are. How should I put? Well, not only just hearsay, but just the fact of, CNC kinks are a real thing out there. Just the degradation kinks and whatnot, and scat play and all that. Yep. 2 Girls, 1 Cup was there's a reason why that existed. Is because people like that kind of stuff, and that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and kink shame, but when you're talking on walking a line between this is something I enjoy versus something that if done in a way that was not truly consensual becomes illegal, that's a very gray area.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sit here and say, well, obviously Vince McMahon's a groomer and a sex trafficker and whatnot, when maybe at one point there was a consent there. Maybe there was a point where she didn't want the consent anymore and he didn't get the memo, so to speak. Right. There's all sorts of different things, and I think Fat Man hit the nail on the head by saying that the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle.
Yep. Always is. Always somewhere in the middle. And what sucks is, not really sucks, but we'll never know. We can hear what she said. We can hear what Vince says. We can hear what a jury decides. But that doesn't mean that's necessarily what actually happened.
Right. Now we're talking illegal.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And to Brian's credit here, I think this is an interesting point. If he groomed her like he proclaimed, then that's where the issues start. Gray area, what's consensual with her denying of what she wants. I agree with the sense of where that is. That is almost secondary to the lawsuit at this point. Because at the end of the day, the lawsuit isn't about what happened. The lawsuit is whether or not the NDA was violated and all this stuff was, leaked to whoever, whether it was Meltzer or whatever. And if she violated an NDA, right? So there's a lot of it. It almost reminds me a little bit of the. Do you guys remember the McDonald's lawsuit where a woman got hot cup of coffee dumped on her? Do you remember the absolute fucking viciousness that McDonald's had sent to this woman in terms of PR? Like, oh, this woman's an idiot, dropping coffee on her. Only an idiot would have thought that the coffee wasn't hot. In reality, it came out in the trial is that they superheated the coffee to the point where it would have burned anybody, even if you were safe. So obviously, there was a problem there, but McDonald's PR firm did the best they could to fucking make her look like an idiot so she would settle out of court. And obviously that didn't happen. She won the lawsuit and so on and so forth.
Right.
I see something similar happening here in the fact that on her side, there's a lot of this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. Look at all the things that look terrible to Vince McMahon. But at the end of the day, the legal question at the core of the lawsuit has really nothing to do with the actual acts that happened.
She did sue them for sexual assault too. Like that's part of the lawsuit.
Yes, but the reason why this lawsuit
is
existed
because of the NDA. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She didn't get paid.
Yeah.
Right.
You can claim that as part as damages, but at the end of the day, the core legal issue is whether or not the NDA was violated, and she had no reason to get her payment stopped.
But if he stopped the payment before this happened, before the NDA came out, before she broke the NDA, wouldn't that him be breaking? Well, wouldn't he be breaking the agreement by not paying?
Yes, and that's why the lawsuit is here.
Right, right. I mean, unless it's like if she,
I will.
like,
I agree, Brian. I agree.
But what Heavy G was saying, like, the only if he stopped payments from the NDA, we don't know that payment was part of an NDA. It most likely was, but we don't know that. Maybe it was just hush money. Maybe it was just hush money, and he found out that she broke an NDA. It's like, oh, this hush money, I'm not paying you anymore. Like, why would I pay you money for you leaking stuff that's part of an NDA? Like, we don't know.
It's a chicken. Yeah, it's a chicken and egg syndrome, right. Or chicken and egg situation. You know,
wasn't McMahon part of this? The whole thing with the whole Me Too movement when Enzo Amore was there and didn't get a chance to do all his,
it was before Me Too.
If it's before Me Too, it makes it even look like more of a dick.
Well, it's before Me Too. Enzo got accused of raping someone.
Right.
It was found that she was lying.
She was lying.
She was lying. He wasn't.
Right.
But they fired him over it anyway.
Well, what about the Velveteen Dream?
He got fired too, and he admitted to it.
Mm-hmm. He just did recently. He talked with Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah, Chris Van Vliet. That was a great interview. If you haven't watched it, go watch it because I'll tell you what, it was a good interview. Really good interview.
Hey, Marty Scurll still works in AAA.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about that. And out of all of them that got knocked out like that, he was probably the worst offender.
Mm-hmm. One more big piece of news that came out is Raw's going to Netflix.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. We kind of touched on this.
Yeah. More information came out by the time we did it. Somebody said it was a 10-year deal. It's a 5-year deal that can be up to 10 years, $2 billion a year. Well, no, he didn't play Triple H playing dumb about not knowing.
Oh, that is full on PR damage control. I would say exactly the same thing that
Yep.
he did.
Like
Yep.
people are
Per se.
bashing him. He's like, well, you need to talk about it. It's a
No, he
legal
doesn't.
issue. He does not need to talk about it.
No.
In fact, if anything, he said too much there.
Right.
We can't talk about an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Done.
Done.
So I get that.
Yeah. Like,
I forgot to.
but yeah, there was something else.
Punk getting injured is the
Yeah.
other big thing.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We kind of
Tried
touched
that.
on it. He's not going to make Mania.
Nope.
So, but what we didn't talk about is what's the alternative now?
We don't even know if Seth's gonna make Mania.
Right. So do we sit here and say the entire, let's call the whole thing off?
Elimination Chamber for the world title. I mean,
Yep.
they
Then how
didn't
do you-
really they didn't really address it. I think, God, one of them's got to be Drew. And Drew's 100% in that match at
Mhm.
Mania. Who's the other guy? Like, do you bring in?
I think
Well, if you're going to take the belt off for Rollins, who are you going to put it on?
I think
It has to be
pull-
McIntyre.
Does it?
I think so.
Why can't it be Priest?
there's the thing is that I think if you're going to I have a hard time making it McIntyre only because I feel like that we're not finished with his story yet. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
I think he needs to. We need to find the solution to, like, he turned heel by basically being right. You know what I mean?
Heels are always right, bro.
Yes, but there hasn't really been this moment where he's been truly justified in it. You know what I mean? I think there needs to be a moment where he can directly point to it and say, I've been screwed. This is the retribution of getting this title shot, type of thing. And
Have you been watching the product?
all he said was, I'm glad you got fucking injured, CM Punk.
I'm not a
No.
religious man, but I prayed for this
No.
to happen.
100% heat. Love that. I'm talking
Yeah, it was
about.
great.
No, I'm talking about like how his retribution to get a title shot. He got fucked at Clash of the Castle. That's been his motivation for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Get
yeah,
a title
absolutely.
shot. So there's his chance. Like, my question is who are you gonna put him in? Do you just put like a you put move Orton over or Styles from SmackDown over to Raw and world title? Like what do you do? Like that's the thing. Like, look at Raw. You have McIntyre. Punk is hurt. Rollins is hurt. McIntyre. Jey Uso.
Okay. Well, here's a thought. Didn't after, well, at Survivor Series, McIntyre teamed up with Judgment Day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
After that, then he attacked Damian Priest for ruining his title match, for trying to cash in and everything else. So if you have Damian Priest beat Rollins at Elimination Chamber and have him have the world title, you can have it where on the first day McIntyre beats Priest for the title.
The only thing I have is that they're in a corner, but they just did Priest McIntyre last week on TV. Do you do that again at Mania 2 months later? I don't.
Why not? It's a continuation of a storyline. Why not?
Again, it doesn't matter because Mania sold out. And by the way, Sleazy, tickets went up again for them.
Let me check.
And then with that, then Cody, you still have Cody and Roman.
Night two. Yeah, I understand that.
And then you can actually have where
I just don't think they're going to run Priest McIntyre. I don't think Priest is going to be in a title match unless he's cashing in Money in the Bank. And he may do that.
He's got to defend the tag belts.
He can lose him in Elimination Chamber to Miz and R-Truth.
Or
who says he has to lose the tag belts?
Lose the tag belts in Elimination Chamber to Miz and R-Truth. Rollins wins Elimination Chamber. He cashes in Money in the Bank and becomes champ.
Rollins, unless the Elimination Chamber is for the world title, which I don't think it will be. I think it'll be for the number one contendership for the world title. The only thing you think of is you 3 guys from Raw, 3 guys from SmackDown, and they fight, and the winner gets a title shot. Or if Rollins isn't hurt, the winner's the world champ. Or Rollins can't make Mania, the winner's the world champ.
Hear me out. Hear me out. What about Nakamura?
Fucking Mark, not gonna happen.
Oh, I'd like that.
He's damaged goods, guys.
Duh.
He's damaged goods.
Mr.
6 rows from the top of Lincoln Financial Field. A 2-pack of tickets. Section 243, row 26. Currently going for $720 per ticket for the 2-day pass. Goddamn, pal!
Well, that's for 2 days. That's actually cheaper than what I found on Game Time. Which is normally really cheap. $1,300. 3rd row from the top.
So I got some that are a little bit cheaper. Section 231.
But I guess
this is just Sunday night. Section 231, row 20. So that's about 8 from the top. $270 a piece.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I'll just spend the $59.99 stay at home.
Why spend the $59.99 where you can spend the $9.99 on or $11.99 now on Peacock?
Yeah, I was gonna say $9.99 anymore.
Well, I can tell how old I am with PLEs.
Spoiler: Fat Man's coming over. We're an hour away from the fucking venue. Probably won't go to WrestleMania.
Probably a 75% chance we're not going to Mania.
Yeah,
unless those tickets drop significantly.
And I don't look for that to happen.
It's possible, literally last minute, they'll drop.
Before, yeah.
No, 2 hours before. It's gotten so bad that they won't drop them until an hour or 2 before the actual show starts. That's how scalpers have gotten in this respect. Because those are retail, face value is $60 for those tickets. So it's you're paying 4 times as much for one ticket? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Because hopefully Punk won't be there, you know?
Yeah, tickets went up when Punk came back.
Right.
So now let's see how they are now when they drop.
It's this crazy fucking roller coaster of speculation that's happening on the show. Meanwhile, everybody else, go fucking to Joey Janela's Clusterfuck on Saturday night. Or go to any one of the dozens of indie shows that will be there. Guess what? Sleaze and Fat Man will be there. We'll be going through a bunch of them all throughout that week. We're even doing a Phillies game at one point too.
We are doing a Phillies game.
So we will be out and about. If you see us, come up to us. We will talk wrestling.
Sleazy will chop you.
Sleazy might chop you.
For a fee, of course.
I might want to get chopped. I might want to get chopped by Sleazy.
Oh.
You don't want to.
Oh.
Ask a certain other gentleman.
I will. I'll take it. I ain't afraid.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
And I ain't no scared.
I ain't no scared.
That's big. That's really much it. Just
That's it. We don't have any other real news.
no.
Okay. So Ryan, fuck him. He had to go deal with a baby.
How
Fucking-
dare he?
How dare that father do that? You can find him at Ryan Buckgotch on Twitter /X and TikTok and Reddit. He's part of the r/the wrestling show. Go talk to him on there. Heavy G, put yourself over. Tell us how we can get a hold of you.
You can see me every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, along with the gentleman upstairs to my left. At the Best Darn Sports Show period 2.
It's me.
Thursday nights, along with Mark. And you can catch me, believe it or not, I am now on the X. You can catch me at TWS_Heavy G.
Wow.
I want to take this time to thank you for allowing me to join you guys on this show. I've been a big wrestling fan my whole life, and I just appreciate the opportunity to sit here and talk wrestling with you guys every Tuesday night. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
We're glad to have you here.
Yup.
I'm at TWS Sleazy.
Tito is Fat Man.
And we are Sleazy Fat Man on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Please go on over there and give us a like. Videos you can find on twitch.tv/SleazyandFatman, youtube.com/SleazyandFatman, and premium videos on onlyfans.com/The Wrestling Show. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite platform and click that notification icon on YouTube. It will really help us out. You can also find all sorts of content at thewrestlingshow.com, including articles, merch, and a ton of other cool stuff. Hopefully soon I'm going to try and get something really special up there, but it'll be a question of what timing and how much more back-end work I'm going to have to do on that. But trust me, once it's up, you'll love it. You can get this podcast every Saturday morning wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, and Podbean. Don't hesitate to rate us on your favorite platform and click automatic downloads. Once again, that really helps us out. Wow. So, with a thank you to Heavy G, a fuck you to Ryan, and as always, for Sleazy.
For the Fat Man.
This is a wrestling show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Fuck Tony Khan and his alleged coke habit. Maybe I'm on it. A hot dog's not a sandwich. A sub is not a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich. Next week, NXT Vengeance Day.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun.